A few years ago, Bongo Flava was really picking up steam outside of Tanzania, and I'm talking 2018, 2019, 2020, thereabouts, signaling a really promising trajectory for TZ artists, TZ being Tanzanian artists. I even did a video about this rise in Bongo Flava, including the digital footprint they were creating online. Fast forward to 2024, and they really seem to have lost musical momentum since and aren't on the trajectory I thought they were on. This stagnation prompts a critical examination of the underlying factors, so let me dissect why that is. Buckle up, this is the no BS version. There are a few reasons why Tanzanian music has failed to become a darling to wider African ears. The first reason being the dilution of originality in pursuit of trends. The allure of continental music trends has undeniably influenced Tanzanian artists, notably from 2021 onwards. A pivot towards Amapiano, a genre originating from South Africa, underscores a broader shift. Tanzanian artists, in an effort to ride that wave of Amapiano's surging popularity, have increasingly forsaken their distinctive Bongo Flava roots to make more Amapiano. Now get this, for a while they actually got praised for doing this because they would actively seek to work with South African artists and producers and DJs on such tracks. And these were the days South Africans were not really happy about Nigerians trying to mimic Amapiano and then other international people trying to mimic Amapiano, but making some really bad versions of it. They hadn't really mastered the sound. In Tanzania, they still do a number of South African features up to this day, but the South African side also knows TZ is kind of easy money anyway for the Amapiano thing. And they won't turn down a good payday. I mean, nobody would. What I found interesting is that this Amapiano trend in TZ intensified with the incorporation of the Ashake style of singing, that choral approach, that crowd chorus thing, which was popularized in his blend of Amapiano and Nigerian Afrobeats. This was around 2022, and even more so with how Burna Boy's last owned that year. Yo. Almost every Amapiano sounding hit from TZ had that crowd singing chorus thing. And this is where I suspect they took it too far. The resultant hybridization of Amapiano and Afrobeats, while innovative in nature, has in turn diluted the unique Tanzanian sound. Sometimes they do it very well, but most times it is forgettable, at least to the outsiders. Less Bongo Flava, more Amapiano, or whatever Afro style is trendy based on whatever songs are trending at that point in time. And really, it's affecting what made Tanzanian music special to begin with. And that's the problem we're discussing today. Such shifts raise questions about the sustainability of these adaptations and their impact on the continental recognition of Bongo Flava specifically. While artists like Harmonize, Rayvanny, and Diamond Platnumz have really managed to produce hits over this period, and some of them recognizable across the continent, the overall TZ industry struggles to make a lasting imprint on the African continent, let alone the global stage. This leads me to the second point, which has been a point of discussion with a lot of people on Twitter actually, and that's the illusion of success through questionable numbers. Another critical issue confronting the TZ music scene is the prevalence of inflated streaming numbers, particularly on platforms like YouTube. This practice is a close cousin to performance-enhancing substances in sports and creates a facade of popularity and success that does not always translate into real-world influence or achievements, and that's the problem. The comparison with internationally acclaimed artists such as Wizkid, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, Davido, all those who have successfully and routinely filled venues around the world like the O2 Arena in London starkly highlights this discrepancy. I mean, Burna Boy filled Toronto's Scotiabank Arena 2 nights in a row just recently. And when you look at the upper echelon of TZ artists and the numbers they get, particularly on YouTube, you then begin to wonder why they cannot fill up these same arenas. And this is what we're talking about. Their online numbers many times fail to match the numbers on the ground, and this problem is prevalent. Granted that TZ has got, I think, about 63 million people. So they do have a lot of people just in terms of population. But if we're talking about those numbers and translating into some sort of international mileage, I don't see it. So this issue of artificial metrics undermines the credibility of the industry and hampers genuine growth and recognition of Tanzanian music industry as a whole and Bongo Flava as a genre. As a final point, I also add that there's a language barrier to that global reach happening in TZ. A unique aspect of the Tanzanian music industry is its predominant use of Swahili in addressing fans on social media and within local media outlets. While this nurtures a deep connection with the local audience, it also suggests a more inward-looking stance, potentially limiting broader international appeal. Now, many times I've had to rely on my own friends from TZ, like Mark from the podcast 30 Minutes with Mark, to translate a post or an article just to stay up to date with my favorite TZ artists. I suspect other people wouldn't bother because that's too much effort. The problem with this is TZ artists only cater to the local fans on social media, so their currency on these platforms is severely limited outside of TZ's borders. Additionally, the predominance of Swahili makes it challenging for non-Swahili speakers in the industry, such as bloggers, podcasters, and other media, to conduct research on TZ music and on TZ artists, thus creating a barrier to global understanding and appreciation of Bongo Flava and other genres coming out of the country. And in no way am I saying everything should be conducted in, I don't know, English or French or something like that. But then that language barrier definitely stops that global reach. All in all, the path forward necessitates a sort of recalibration of priorities within the Tanzanian music industry, embracing and innovating within that sort of rich culture of Bongo Flava, and the sound itself could really offer a distinct advantage on the global stage. Moreover, fostering transparency and authenticity in the metrics will definitely enhance the credibility and attract a more genuine and sustainable fan base, not only in TZ but across the African continent, because I think TZ actually has some great talent. It goes without saying, but the challenges facing Tanzanian music are complex, yet they also offer opportunities for introspection and some sort of reinvention. By recommitting to the unique qualities that actually define Bongo Flava and addressing the industry's reliance on, these misleading success metrics, Tanzanian artists can actually forge a path forward that not only captivates the African continent, but also resonates globally. We've actually seen it with Rayvanny. He was among the Grammy nominees. I think it was on Maluma's album. Yeah. And that was for the song Tetema, which is a hit, by the way. But that tells you that Bongo Flava sound actually has a little something that other people really gravitate towards. But then if TZ artists are continuously trying to do Amapiano and Afrobeats together somehow, leaning more on the Amapiano side, well, at some point somebody's just going to say, hey, look, the original stuff is coming from down south. We don't need you guys. So I'll leave you with this question. Is the pursuit of trendy music worth sacrificing the unique cultural sound created in Bongo Flava that originally set Tanzanian artists apart? And maybe as a second question, In an industry increasingly driven by digital metrics and the pressure to succeed, how can artists ensure their growth reflects genuine popularity and impact? Otherwise, that's it for me. My name is MJ Wemoto, son of Zimbabwe, signing out. Peace. Nande.